Alright, welcome to my little video on crimping ring terminals. We haven't talked a lot about ring terminals yet. They're fairly self-explanatory. They're a little device we crimp on the end of wire, and then it's got this hole in it here, and we can put it on a post of a screw, things like that, and I could have a connection that's easily removable as I stack them up of 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. These are very easy to crimp and install, which is why we use them a lot possibly. Again, I strip my wire with my good quality wire strippers, and I insert it in my terminal. Now I want you to notice something about these ring terminals. This part here is meant to crimp on the wire, and this is meant to crimp on the insulation. You'll notice your crimpers within the crimping die have two diameters of crimping, bigger and smaller. The larger goes into or crimps the insulation. So when we put the wire in, we always want to see a little bit sticking out. I want to see a little wire there. I don't need a lot. In fact, if I see too much, then I get worried, but I need a little bit sticking out, and none sticking out the back where it could arc with other wires. But a little shows me that we have crimped on the wire. So let's go ahead and crimp this. This is my crimper, pretty standard ratcheting crimper. One of these crimper frames, you can place a variety of different jaws. These come in and out very easily with these thumb screws. We've got red, blue, and yellow for the different size terminals, red, blue, and yellow. And then they also tell us here, if we zoom in a little, this one happens to tell you it's for 22 to 18, 16 to 14 gauge wire, 12 to 10. As I ratchet this, perhaps something's gone wrong and it's stuck. I've got a little release right here. I can push it forward and release it. But once I've started to crimp something, I don't release it and reuse it. I go ahead and change it. But I just ratchet down, and then it will release. If you look closely as we crimp, I think you can see this is the side that gets the insulation. This is the side that the wire gets, the conductor gets crimped. You can see this is smaller than this. So the best way to crimp these that I've found is I load the crimper, then put the wire in. The terminal goes in this way. Two ways to remember. One, this is the insulation side. That's the wire side. Second, all crimpers are made and designed for right-handed people. So if I'm holding it in my right hand, it's kind of logical to put my wire in with my left. If you're left-handed, sorry about that. After I load the terminal in here, I give it one notch of ratchet just to hold it in place so the terminal can stay. You can see the larger hole, which is going to crimp on the insulation, and the smaller hole, which will crimp on the conductor. Put it in. Let's look at the other side. You can see a little bit of wire comes out. So we have it about right. Ratchet down. There's our crimp. I've actually, in this case, possibly got too much wire sticking out. The problem is I don't know then if the crimp that's on the conductor is actually crimping on conductor, or if that's insulation all the way through. This is pretty marginal. I can look in it and possibly see it looks like I'm crimping on metal. I mean, back here I'm crimping on the insulation. It's not an ideal. It should be just a little less conductor than that showing through. Here is a case of what I know is actually a bad crimp. I made it that way. As we look, you can see there's no conductor showing through on the tongue, and as I flip that up, you can see I've actually only crimped on insulation. There's no contact between this tongue and the actual copper wire in here. This is a faulty crimp. It is not as uncommon of a problem as you would imagine. That is it for crimping ring terminals. Thank you for joining me, and have a great day.